Welcome to Excel and Finance video number 31. Hey, if you want to download this workbook, Chapter 5 or the PDF for Chapter 5, just click on the link below this video and then scroll way down to the Finance section. All right, in this video, well, in this chapter, Chapter 5, we've been so far talking about all sorts of great things. But interest rates, future value of multiple cash flows. But most recently, we were talking about future value of an annuity. And so we had this formula right here. Take our annuity, which means an equal payment, equal time intervals, multiply it by this factor, and it tells us what our future value is. Now, that's our calculation we've been doing. But what if? So we were saying if we deposit $50 each month for 40 years, how much do we have at the end of retirement? But in this video, we want to say, I want to be a millionaire. So we'll know the future value amount. And I want to solve for PMT. Well, we simply take this formula, divide both sides by this factor. These cancel out, and so you're left with PMT equals that right there. In Excel, we're simply going to put the rate, the NPER, the future value, and type. I don't think we're going to do any end annuities, or I'm sorry, we're not going to do any annuity dues or begin annuities. So we'll just always leave this blank. We're always going to be doing ordinary annuities. So, and here's the math formulas here. Let's go look at an example. Let's see, do I have an example right here? Yes. How much do I have to invest at the end of each month to become a millionaire? Now, that's sloppy writing there, but let's look at the timeline. We'll go over to Excel, and it's less sloppy. Here it is. I want the future value amount to be $1 million, right? And here's all of our time. Our goal is to solve for this amount here. So in essence, we have a minus amount. We're putting this into our investment vehicle or retirement plan or a savings plan or whatever it is. So over time, we keep putting all these cash flows in. And at the end, cha-ching, we want to get $1 million. So this is known. This is what we're solving for. Let's go over to Excel. Here's our $1 million we're solving for future value. Our annual rate, our number of compounding periods per year, our number of years. Let's go ahead and do our period rate. Total annual rate divided by number of compounding periods per year. Total periods is years times number of compounding periods. And now, I guess I have to do it once. I have to show you the nasty formula, math formula. And then I'll show you the easy function. And again, for us in this class, it's just so we have a way to double check. In the real world, it's a way to double check, right? If you're in charge of the spreadsheet. Oh, here it goes. Well, we know our future value amount, and we're going to divide it by that factor. Now I'm going to have to put 1, 2, 3 parentheses, and then do 1 plus our period rate. We already have that, raised to our number of compounding periods. And we're going to subtract 1. That, in essence, this little green bit right here is the top of the fraction that goes underneath the future value amount. Then we're going to have to divide this by our period rate. Finally, we have to put a closed parentheses. And the reason why is we need to force that division to go last. 158.13. That doesn't seem like very much money. I must have made a mistake. Well, here, I'm going to double check with my, and this is our new function, PMT. Now, in this example, we're in essence doing a savings plan, right? How much to save each month to become a millionaire. Later, we'll see how to use this function for loan payments. All right, our rate, it's our period rate. Our NPER, that's our total number of periods. Our present value, well, we don't have any money in the account at time 0, so we're not going to use that. In the bond chapter and in other examples, we use that, but not here. The future value, that's the amount that we want to solve for. I'm going to close parentheses and enter. So this properly tells us that it's a cash flow out. So if we want to be a millionaire, and I do not like the odds given in the lottery or getting a big inheritance, my next best option would be to invest 158.13 at the end of each period, 10% compounded 12 times a year. Now, of course, sometimes it's not possible to get a 10% rate. Not only that, but sometimes maybe you're only putting in once a year. Let's just put a 1 here. Oh, okay, so that means $2,259 per year for 40 years. By the way, if you plop this in, you get a good, at least at this point in history, you get a good deduction on your tax return for contributing to a retirement fund. Let's change this, 0.07. So 5,000 at the end of the year. I think that's about the amount you're allowed to deduct on your tax return. Let's go back to 12 here just to see what the monthly amount. So $380. Yeah, that's a lot. But history shows us that 7% would be very, very conservative in terms of investing. All right, now we want to see another example. Again, we are solving, we know the future value amount, and we want to know what the PMT is. So I'm going to come over to 17. This is our 17th example. These are also in the PDF files. Oh, savings plan for our daughter's college, right? We think we're going to need 180,000. We think we can get 8% compounded monthly, 18 years. So we need to know how much to put in each month to save up for the daughter's college. And probably this one's got to be a lot more than that, but we'll start with that. Period rate, 8% divided by this 12. Now look at that. I'm going to highlight both of these cells, clicking and hold Control and click here, and just click the decrease decimal. Probably have been faster to go to the Format Cells dialog box. Total periods, 18 years times 12 months. All right, we're going to assume it's an end annuity. Again, it's easy in Excel. You just put a 1 at that type argument. I'm not going to do the math. I'll just go equals PMT. The period rate, boom. The NPER, that one there. Present value, no, we're going to skip over that. Future value, that's the amount we want. The type we can leave out because it's end. $374. If I want to save my daughter's college education, I should invest $374 at the end of each period for these given variables here. Now let's move this up a little bit. Oops. 250. And let's assume we were investing and could earn 11%. And maybe, yeah, so monthly. We're going to keep it up monthly. We want it to come out of our monthly paycheck. So there you go. Those are two examples of how to solve for the PMT in a future value annuity. We did it with the PMT function. We even did it with the math. All right, in our next video, we'll start looking at the present value of an annuity. All right, see you next video.